Today is the 13th of December. We will speak Dharma for you to hear. Today I will speak especially about the way of practice. There are many methods of practicing Dharma. Some people understand that if we have practiced Dharma so that we know and understand Dharma already, then we cannot do any more work. This is an inappropriate and incorrect understanding. When we practice Dharma, we know and understand Dharma in a correct way already, then we must work in accordance with our duty. Every person must know his duty, the duty that belongs to himself. It's not that once we are, then we simply live in the easiest way that we can. If a lay person has practiced Dharma and knows and understands Dharma already, then that person goes and teaches others who do not understand. This is to act in accordance with their duty. This person is said to live, to eat, to sleep, to sit and stand in a low way, but to do high kind of work. I myself, to tell you the truth, I practiced Dharma and I knew and understood Dharma as a lay person. I was not a monk. And when I understood Dharma, then I went out to teach, to help others to know, those who do not know already. And I did this for 2 or 3 years. This is to act in accordance with one's own duty. And this is called living in a low way, eating, sleeping, standing and lying down in a low way, but doing work that is high, work that is lofty. That is the work of the mind. I have ordained as a monk for 20 years now, and in this time I have worked, every day I work according to my duty. I am a monk according to convention only. This is not the real monk when we put on this uniform. This is simply the conventional monk. And in the 20 years that I have been a monk, I have taught Dharma. I have taught it every day until today. Thinking of the Buddha has entered Nibbana now. The Buddha has entered extinction. And now there is no one that speaks the truth, that speaks Satya. Satya means actuality, reality, the thing that subsists, that exists, whether it is known or is not known. This actuality, this subsisting reality, is the life, the mind of each person. Today, as in any previous time, in any place, in any time, the life, the mind is the same. It is clean, it is illuminated, and it is calm. When the mind is not clean, illuminated, and calm, it is just like the sun obscured by clouds. So when the clouds obscure the sun, it appears dark, it appears as if the light is very dim. But in reality, the light is there. The light is as strong as it always is, and it is simply that something has come from somewhere else and obscured the light. The clouds, the fog, the smog, the mist, this cannot attach itself to the sun. It exists apart from the sun. It is something very temporary. It comes and it goes. Similarly, when there is anger and greed and delusion, we understand that the anger, greed and delusion exist in our mind. This is an incorrect understanding. In reality, our mind is clean, it is illuminated and it is calm. The greed, hatred and delusion simply arise and pass away. Why is it that anger, delusion and greed can be born, can arise? They arise only because we forget ourselves. Therefore, the Buddha taught us, each one of us, the Buddha taught us to have sati, to have awareness, watching the movements of the body, and to have awareness, watching the movements of the mind that thinks. Because the body which is outside us, we can see with the eye and we can touch it with the hand. But the mind that thinks, we cannot see with the eye and we cannot touch with the hand. Any person that does not have sati and does not have panya is not capable of seeing our mind, our life. The person that has sati, that has panya, is capable of seeing our life, our mind, as it actually is. So, what I have come to speak today, what I have come to say, is to encourage each one of you to develop sati, to have sati watching the movements of the mind, and to develop sati, to have sati watching the movements of the body. On the previous tape, I have spoken up to the matter of greed, anger and delusion, and the matter of feeling, craving, attachment and action. So today I will speak further on this matter. Kilesa, defilement, is stickiness. It is something very sticky, like oil or like dye, which can enter cloth. This defilement, it is existing only in ordinary people, in common people, the tujana. For someone whose mind changed, a person is called a noble individual. For the noble individual, defilement cannot stick to him. Craving, tanha, is something heavy. The common person, the patujana, likes to live with something that is heavy. He likes to live with suffering. The noble individual does not like to live with things that are heavy. And when he sees anything that is heavy, he discards it immediately. He discards it straight away, and his mind and his body are light. Upadana, attachment or holding or addiction, it is conventionally described as being holding or attachment. It is that we hold onto, we attach ourselves to things that are heavy, and we don't wish to let go of that. That is applying only to the patujana, to the common person. Action means, karma means action. It is what we are doing all the time. The patujana, the common person, is involved with dukkha, is creating dukkha at all times. The noble individual is also creating action, but he is not creating suffering, dukkha. He is creating non-suffering. The one that knows, or the Buddha, teaches about paticca samuppada, dependent co-arising. He teaches that avijja, ignorance, is the condition for the arising of sankhara, and sankhara is the condition for the arising of consciousness. Consciousness is the condition for the arising of nama-rupa. Nama-rupa is a condition for the arising of the six sense bases. The bases, six sense bases, the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body and the mind are the conditions for the arising of contact, and contact is the condition for the arising of feeling. The feeling is the condition for the arising of craving, and craving is a condition for the arising of attachment, and attachment is a condition for the arising of being. So when we have craving, then we must have holding, we must have attachment, we must have holding and holding things that are heavy. Someone that has panya, when he listens to this, he knows that the patujana, he does not know, he only knows through the words, he only understands the meaning of the words. So in actuality there are many kinds of knowing. For example, there's knowing by memory and knowing by directly recognizing. There's knowing entering and knowing leaving. There's knowing clearly and knowing really. Some people know and then they enter and get attached to that knowing. That is called upadana, holding. The noble individual, he knows, but he lets go of that knowing. He doesn't hold on to it and make it something heavy. When I asked them if they have children, they said that they have not yet married, so why would they have children? Not that whether male or female, they have answered the same. When they answer that when they get married, then they will have children. Not that they, whether male or female, they answer differently. So one that knows does not